Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How's everyone doing tonight?
What up? What up? What up?
Can't complain. Doing all right.
Sure you can. I'm kidding. I always
I
love
ain't
saying
saying a
that to
word.
people. Okay, so we have Rookie Traveler with us tonight and No Man X.
Uh,
Um No Man X are used to um how was it gag? That's what he goes by when he's on
yeah.
here. He's not up here tonight. I don't know if he's coming,
Got you.
but it's yeah. Um so I have three questions. Three questions.
All right.
Okay.
Before I even ask mine, do either one of y'all have any questions you want to ask?
Oh
I,
man.
I'm fresh out
Ladies
right now.
first.
Okay.
All right,
So
that
my
part. Ladies first.
first first question, um, I asked these while I was at work. Trying to think how I'm gonna word it. Would you, in a relationship, would you rather you look better than your partner or your partner look better than you?
Ooh.
Like, let's say you two are like walking in the mall holding hands. Like, would you rather people look at y'all and be like, "Hey, what is he doing with her?" Or would you rather them be like, "What is she doing with him?"
Truthfully, I just want to, if they realize I'm with them, to realize I'm with her, not be sitting there trying to judge. Okay, how did y'all two to get together? If you got that kind of issue, have the guts and walk up and ask, because honestly give the answer of like, she's into me, I'm into her.
Okay, I put it this way. I didn't ask it like that at work. I said, "Would you rather be busted, or would you rather your partner be busted?"
I kind of like your first analogy.
Okay,
I wouldn't have a problem with getting those types of stares, those types of looks of, "Hey, damn, how in the hell did he pull her?" So I guess I wouldn't have a problem if she looked better than I did. Not at
I
all.
agree too. Because
wait.
I mean, if I got her, I got her. And if someone's got an issue with it, go ahead. Like I said earlier, go ahead and ask. And I'll
Yes.
be like, she's
Yes.
into me. What you want me to tell you?
Yes.
What I had to have money or some crap? That's what you had to tell me? I gotta be like Mr. Bill Gates or some stupid crap just to get this woman? Or did I just so happen to have just the right traits that she found that were worth something to give me a shot? I think that's
Truth,
what I would tell anybody. Hmm.
truth be told. Yep.
So, Rookie, you're saying that you're okay with her looking better than you?
Yeah, because a lot of what he just said, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Actually, that would kind of feed my ego that people are
Exactly.
looking at her and looking at me like, damn, gosh, she is just bad as hell. Dude,
Yes,
even if they don't say it out loud, how did you pull that?
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's like gloating
Mm-hmm.
for me and be like, yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Yes.
Envy my girl. This is the one I get to take home with me at night. I get to be with alone. What you talking about, man?
Yep.
That's like, oh man, okay. It's like if you want like a trophy. So I hate being like objective, but I'm just gonna be objective. It's like you want a trophy in a competition. Everyone's like, man, I'm mad at you how you got won that trophy. I'm so proud. I get to take this home. That's basically how I feel the same. It's like she's like that. Got guys and ladies looking at me like, how? I'm like, well, guess what? She's into me. I'm into her. I'm happy. Why are y'all jealous, huh? Why are y'all
That,
jealous?
but,
Y'all know
but
what
you
to
just
do.
said it. They're jealous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm trying to think what people said at work. I think everybody at work said the opposite, but they were women. So to see that's interesting. That's why I wish there was like women and men up here, because the perspectives amongst the sexes are different. I noticed. Like the women said,
You're
"No,
Mm-hmm.
I don't." That's another thing. I think I asked it differently too. Like I think I said, would you want to be the one that everybody wants, or would you want your partner to be the one everybody wants?
I don't care, huh?
So okay, well,
Yeah.
I get that because you guys are men. um,
Well, damn you
so
too.
Dang. I ain't saying nothing on that part. I wasn't gonna go beat out harsh. I was just gonna let her just make her statement and move forward.
He said, "You guys are men." Okay.
you guys are men.
Yeah, I see
Hey,
how
I'm
it
keeping
is.
it real.
Uh,
Mm.
would you rather be fat and happy or small and miserable? Or would say fit and miserable? How about that?
I'll take
Well,
being fat and happy.
let me rephrase that question because I don't want anyone viewing us in the future to be offended. Um, overweight and happy, or on the small side and miserable.
Hey, hey, hey! I'm
Exactly.
fat, Albert.
Agreed. Because if
Yep.
I'm fat and happy, I'll take that over anything. Because I mean, why do I want to make myself more miserable in this life? There's plenty of things to make me feel miserable. So if I can be fat and happy, I'll take that for a 500.
Yeah. Truth be told, again, I swear, yes, sir. Yeah. So much
Really,
wrong in the
really?
world that can make you miserable. I mean, man. Well, no, I don't need anything fueling that fire. That's ongoing.
Exactly. Mm,
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
exactly. Mm.
Um, so would okay. So let's say you received a government check. Let's say you was receiving a government check each month for like $100 for whatever reason. Let's say one month you receive. You already know where this is going. let's
I'm
say
gonna let this roll. Mm,
so. Let's say it was, or maybe not a check. You know, they don't do checks now. They do like direct deposits. So let's say
mm.
instead of you getting $100 direct deposit, it was like a 10,000 direct deposit because they accidentally added some zeros to that. Are you
Well,
going to keep that money? Are you going to call them up and say, "Hey, I think you guys gave me too much"? What would y'all do?
Catch me if you can.
exactly, because I'm gonna keep it real. One time, I'm not gonna give it away, but one time where I was at, someone accidentally gave me too much money, and what I did first was like, "Are they serious?" I let it sit there in my account and stuff just to see if it's for real. And then when they realized it, they came back to my account and deducted. I was like, "Oh, okay," because if they weren't paying attention, I wasn't going to tell them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's your mistake.
Exactly,
You should be better at your job. But
exactly,
yeah, my stance on this is kind of like his. Like I said, catch me if you can.
exactly.
My
Because
fault, your mistake.
Because in
Okay.
this world, they want us to always be right. So if we have to be
Mm-hmm.
right and we get punished for it, I mean, the other person might as well get
Exactly.
punished for their mistake.
Exactly. I agree. What about
Mm,
you?
Um,
yeah.
I think if it was maybe like 500 instead of like I feel like if it wasn't a noticeable, like maybe I would keep it, but if it was like extremely high, I would probably say something because I've read about cases where people have been gone after because they had received money that they weren't supposed to receive, and then
Mm-hmm.
they're expected to pay that back. So I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm looking at this thing, oh, I'm in the money, and I'm taking the money out, and then uh, I spend it, and then they realize their mistake, and they're like, "Well, you're supposed to report that, and since you didn't, we're going to have to either garnish your wages or whatever what they would do in that situation."
I think.
I would just
I'm
think
sorry.
of. Go ahead, go ahead.
I think also, as I said, that I would keep that money, catch me if you can. But also because if you're going to garnish my wages after you catch me, I'm going to go on a hellified spending spree.
I
So,
keep,
like the home upgraded, maybe a new car, a truck, or something like that. A few clothes, what have you. And then, okay, you caught me. We go to court. You take the remaining of what I didn't spend, and I got to pay back what I did spend. Okay, I'll take that. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
because I mean, if they're gonna garnish my check, they're gonna garnish my check. Because I mean, okay, if it's like, for instance, you said a couple hundred or a few hundred more, it's like, okay, that's gonna be what, maybe like 50 out of my check or something like that per
Mm-hmm.
check. And then once it's done,
Mm-hmm.
I'm back to my normal check. So all I have to do is just, save up a little bit, put money aside, make sure I get ready
But
for the long stretch.
but what if it's ten
Yeah.
thousand that you got to pay back though?
Same.
Well,
My answer's still the same. Catch me. I
yeah,
didn't
I
mean to
mean,
cut
I'll
you
work.
off. I'm sorry.
Exactly. And if I do get catch, we're gonna talk and work a deal out so I can actually still, keep making money and they get their money back. Yeah, it might not be immediately, but it's gonna come back to them.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. What about you?
Yeah.
I just said it. I said if it was only a little bit of money, like if it was like I was supposed to get 100, but only got like 500, I would
Okay.
keep that. But if it was like a 10,000, like a noticeable difference, I would say something, because I just like I said, always worry about like what's going to happen. What's going to happen if I take this money and spend it? Like not that I'm going to
Okay.
do that, but if I did do it, take the money and spend it and not report it, what's going to happen from that?
Would
That, that
you? Okay.
okay, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I was going to say I wanted to turn the page, but I wanted to let you finish.
Oh, I'm done.
Um. Okay, I got one for you. Would you, if you were told by your doctor, primary caregiver, that you were going through issues, you know, personal issues. Let's just say, for instance, trying to be funny, y'all, one of your breasts was bigger than the other, and it was noticeable. And some other issues. Your doctor says that she has a proven pill, which will allow you to have your hair grow as long as you need it to grow, or whatever length. You had an hourglass shape because of this medication you were taking. I mean, your skin's perfect. You got perfect sized lips. I mean, just everything across the board was just great for you. If it were a guy, man, you're physically fit. I mean, you got a build without even working out. And the only side effect to taking this would be that it gave you memory loss from time to time. Would you take it? Yes or no?
Mm, you and these, dang, I'm
You know how I do.
scratching,
You know
scratching
how
my
I
head.
do.
Yeah, I do. I know you always got to add that extra. Hmm. You said it's because of my boobs are like lopsided. Is that what you're saying? Like, is
Let's
that
just
what you're
say that
saying?
was one of your
One of the
natural
issues.
born effects, so to speak. Yeah, that you either had one breast longer than the other or bigger than the
Mm,
other. You have blemishes on your skin. It's just a combination of things all at one time that you're going through, as you're trying to live your best life. As I said,
mm,
you get told by the doctor because you're voicing your concerns with her that, hey, I got this medication. You start taking it, then you see like almost overnight results. You got one of the most perfect bodies out here. And as I said, if it's a guy, he's got muscles, he's built. I mean, just, maybe, just everything's perfect. But the only downside to this, y'all, is that it gives you memory loss from time to time.
mm. I think I'm gonna
Mm,
have to go with the pill because I mean I don't want the memory loss, and I do think that too much of that and early what Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever, um,
Hmm.
that's what you would eventually get. But I'm vain, so I'm take the pill.
Right, right.
mm. Can't argue. I mean, life is short, so why not?
And
Exactly. Yeah.
who's to say I'm not gonna get dementia and Alzheimer's anyway? So
Exactly.
Yeah, true fact. Yep, true fact.
Hmm.
Um, does anybody here believe in ETs, life beyond Earth?
that's a good question.
Mine is going to be harsh to humanity, but I'll go ahead and say it. I believe there are probably intelligent life, but then they seen us, they said, no. Uh, and they're going to stay away
Yeah.
from us until we.
Who's to say we're not more smarter than they are? Who's to say we're the dumbest?
Well, that is true, but they look
if
at
they
our
if
violent
they if
tendencies.
they if they exist, I mean.
True. I'm gonna say if they exist, there's a chance they seen us and they were like, since we're able to travel this distance and we were to share this technology with them, and we seen how they are with their own technology, and we're a peaceful species. Do we really want them to come join us right now? No, we're gonna wait until they evolve until they probably stop harming each other. Yeah, that's a smart idea. That's where I feel if there is intelligent life. They seen us, they asked a simple question: do you think we're worthy to meet them yet? And they're probably like, not yet. Especially since we have nuclear weapons and we go to war constantly with ourselves.
Right. Okay.
As far as do I believe that? But see, that's the thing. Like it's like Bigfoot, and I'm trying to think what the other thing is that people are always talking
Yeti?
about. But that's the same thing. Might as well say.
They're a Loch Ness.
But but I'm
The
just
Loch
saying.
Ness monster.
Well, I don't know about. Well, no. Well, I guess you could say that. But to me, I
Mm,
feel like it's like that to where you don't know. You just go about. You just know what you hear, what you see. Videos, but you're not gonna know unless you're there. So unless I
exactly.
see an alien, I can't say that they exist. I can't say, oh yeah, I know they exist, even though I've never seen one. Or I know Bigfoots out there exist, even though I've never seen one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's hard to say. But I put it this way, I believe it could be a possibility, but I can't say for sure that it's out there. Okay, what you got to
Okay.
say?
So, to both of you,
Go
what
ahead.
would you do? What would you do if, per the news, per you seeing this for yourself, with your own eyes, that aliens have come to Earth? What do you think your first reaction would be? And secondly, what do you think you would do upon knowing, like I said, seeing it for yourself, or per the news, or word of mouth, that aliens have finally come to Earth? What would
I'll
you
be
do?
worried. I'm sorry,
What
I'm
would you
sorry.
do?
Continue.
What do you think your first response would be? And secondly, what would you do after finding out that this is absolutely true?
Well,
This goes
first
to
off,
both of y'all.
I'll be worried because I don't look at more people as oh it's gonna be all friendly, we're gonna be happy go lucky. No, I look at that as they're coming here, they're trying to take us over. There's gonna be fighting. If they're not trying to take us over, then the humans here are gonna try to take over their area, and there's gonna be a big fight. Instead of blowing up, countries, we're gonna be blowing up planets. You know, so no, I don't look at that and think, oh, no, I would be worried. Now, as far as
Mhm.
doing anything, there's nothing that I could really do that I could think of, but just be worried.
Well, there's a
Okay.
song online that starts with a choice word that says "I'm F." I'm F today. So my mind would be like, oh, okay, I'm F. There ain't much I can do because technically speaking, I don't have my own military. I don't have what you call something where I think I'm sufficiently capable of defending myself, even if
An
I did own
arsenal,
firearms.
an armory.
Exactly. Exactly. And if I did, I still don't know if it's good enough if they decide to come out here and be hostile. So I'm gonna be like, if someone has a bunker, can I join them, please? I do know how to cook. I do know how to work with electricity and other stuff. I am a person that actually has skill traits. So if you add me into your bunker, I'd be an asset. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do is gonna go for hiding until it's confirmed 100% that we're not gonna kill each other. Once we get past that point, I will be willing to meet the aliens. And especially if they're friendly aliens and our people don't decide to say, let's attack them. If they can say, we're not alone, let's be friendly, or go like I like to say, Star Trek style, we greet them, we shake hands, we become good friends with each other, we start trading back and forth with each other. I'm game. My fear is, I go with the old saying, mankind has showed me one person's intelligent, but the more people you add into the group, the dumber they get. So my
Exactly.
so
Mhm.
my fear is they're going to lean towards aggression instead of peace. And my prayer is they lean towards peace, especially if these creatures come down here in peace, not to go to war. And then we better just play the game of trust afterwards. That neither one of us have a dark intention down the road. And if it is going to happen, as long as I'm alive on this planet, eh,
I feel like
My,
if the
I'm
aliens
sorry. Go
come in
ahead.
peace, if the aliens come in peace, I feel like the humans are going to look at that and try to take advantage, and then they're not going to be in peace. I feel like they're going to try to, overtake the aliens, and that's going to cause a war. And then aliens aren't
Exactly.
going to be so peaceful anymore. So then
Exactly.
you did. I feel like it's
Well,
going to be dangerous either. I feel like it's going to be dangerous anyway. I just don't see it to where humans and the aliens are both going to be peaceful toward each other. I feel like someone's going to try some underhanded stuff. There's something's
Yep.
going to happen. Look at the way the world
well,
is now. The world ain't
exactly.
innocent. So I mean, so it's just you no man said, you add more variables to the equation, it's a problem. So,
Exactly.
but what we
And
about
I
that's
to
my
mean,
say?
with the
fear.
What you about to say,
yeah, with
rookie?
the with the valid points that both of you bring up, and with my training and background, I am going into the woods. That's going to be my first reaction, my first movement. I'm going to take all my supplies that I can, my hardware. I'll leave it at that, and I'm going in the woods, deep in the woods. I don't want to be anywhere around cities or towns or houses in case this thing goes sideways to, like you guys are saying, now we're at war with one another. Who knows what the outcome of that's going to be? I don't want
Yep.
to be involved. So yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to be near anything. I don't want to be near any of that until it plays out to where maybe there's peace and harmony and both
Yes.
species get along.
Well, in that
That would be
case,
my opinion.
you're gonna be in the woods for a while. Start calling you
Yeah,
hermit.
well, yeah, well, I mean, as you guys are saying though, I mean, with the way we can't even get along with each other. I mean, it kind of makes me, it's kind of off subject, guys, but it kind of makes me shake my head to they want to go to the moon and colonize that. They want to go to Mars and take the same problems, pollution, racial issues. I mean, just all stuff across the board, and you want to take that to a brand new planet and start all over again. We can't even get Earth right. We can't even do ourselves right. But you want to take our nonsense to another planet? No, that's why I say I would have to see that we can get along as different species. But in the meantime, I guess I'll be Herman, like you said, or
No, I
a
mean
hermit.
I get that. Like, no, I was just saying, I was just saying to further your point that you would be, or just to say that you'd be a hermit for a while, because I think it would take a long time to trust, either
Exactly. There we go.
us or them. It would take that
Yep.
long to where you would be out in that woods for quite some time.
I agree. Because that's
Yes.
the thing about me going to bunker. I'm not planning to come out the bunker within the first week or so. I want to be in that bunker as long as you can stay down there before I ever even stick my head out. And that's the reason why I said I'd go
Hmm.
for bunker first, because bunker, I'll still have some of my comfort creatures where I can build stuff that can last long term. So when I'm forced to come out the bunker, I got stuff that can probably help me last a little bit longer if I have to be out there in the chaos. Uh,
I totally get that, and I guess I say for me, with my training and background, I can hunt, I can fish. I know how to build a shelter. I pretty much know how to take care of myself being out in the open. So yeah, I guess for me it would be a waiting game.
Okay, naked and afraid. You should. You know
Yeah.
what? Well, could you imagine if you tried out for that show though? Oh my gosh, you would have people going nuts. Because just think about it, naked and afraid, more like naked and pregnant,
Oh man,
oh,
he
God.
said
Why
naked.
did you add that?
pregnant and afraid.
Let's do it slow. I hate being realistic. I had to build a shelter, make sure she stays secure, make sure no one finds out where she's at. And then, most of my other time, make sure no one knows until she has a child. When she has a child, then we can go from there.
Whoa,
Mm-hmm.
is it
I'm
me?
sorry, I think a lot more fun than when you brought that. I'm like, okay, now I got to
No,
put that into play.
no. You was cutting in and out on my end. That's why I was like, only
Yeah,
thing I
Oh,
yeah,
heard was
mine's too. But
only thing I heard was a child. That's the
sorry.
only thing I heard.
Hopefully, let me see. Am I now
well,
still?
yeah, he's still
No,
kind of going in and out.
If I switch fails, I'll switch to another device.
well, that last part sounded pretty good.
Yeah, because I was
well,
saying you mentioned about being a woman or a woman being pregnant. I'm like, shoot, what are you talking about? I gotta make a shelter, make sure it's a secure place where no one will know that she's there, keep her safe, and whenever I go forward, she can make sure no one is able to track where I'm going, and make sure. Well, I do have some knowledge about how to help deliver, so when I help her deliver, make sure it's in a place no one will hear her screams or go under in the process of delivering. Once she delivers, then I gotta make sure I can go find resources to keep the child in her fed until the child gets to a certain point where we can actually start traveling and moving again. So I
And
do have
Okay.
that thoughts.
what? Wow, you think you can do? You be able to do all that?
It'll be challenging. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be an easy walk. It's gonna be the most nightmarish thing I've done in my life.
But
Because
Hmm.
I'm
but you
right
still
now.
gonna
I have no,
try.
yeah. Because I'm gonna put in this terms. I have enough knowledge that I'm not gonna say I'm capable of surviving, but I do have enough skills that I've learned thanks to me being a part of Boy Scouts when I was growing up that I could kind of sort of survive, and then the rest of it I'll just probably learn on crash coursing myself through it, and then after that, might be good. I'm not gonna say I'm perfect because I have not been trained by a true survivalist. So I'm just gonna say, as an amateur, I say I probably have a maybe what I say 40-60% chance of failure and success. I'm not gonna say 50-50 because unless I was trained, then I can say 50-50. So I'm gonna say 40, maybe 30 to be realistic. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I am that confident because I'd be lying to myself.
With your head's in the right place, though.
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah. Seriously, I really meant that as a compliment. Um,
Thank you.
if you if you guys had a chance, because I talked about colonization a few moments ago,
Mhm.
had a chance to, as they talked about, colonizing the moon. If you
Yeah.
were handpicked by the government and the military, to be a part of that, your family's going to be taken care of. They get to come with you. You'll have every creature comfort that you could think of while you're going through the process of helping to colonize the moon. Would you do it?
Nope. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm the type I like to see what happens first. I was like that with the vaccines. That I as soon as they came out, did I run and get it? No, I waited and seen what happened with the people that got it first. Like I wanted
Yeah.
to see what. And I'm trying to think. There's another situation that happened. I'm like I'm the type. I don't jump on things. I like to wait and see what happens to other people before I partake.
I
See,
get that.
okay. See, there's two parts for me that comes into play. Me, I'm a person that's kind of quote unquote classified as, even though I can socialize with people, I am more antisocial than I am social. Because if I was given an option to be around a lot of people or be away from people, I'd take being away from people more likely, and that shocks a lot of people. They're like, "You're able to talk with us and have conversation." I'm like, "That is true," but you're telling me if I can get away from people for a while, or maybe for the next couple years, I'm like, that sounds tempting, but then give me a second.
Okay.
Crazy. No, where are you? Where are you? Yeah, crazy. Okay, you're going crazy work today. Crazy work. Put it.
Hmm.
Um, I would be kind of suspicious on what's the success failure rate. But then again, everything in my life, I always look at it. Even if you see the success, there's a chance that when you get a chance to go there, you see the success or failure rate. That small chance of it being your failure is always going to be there. So it's kind of like I would like to say I'd be cautious, but at the idea, okay, I'm gonna be truthful with you. I'm a gamer. When the 360s came out, I heard the rumor about the red eye, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit and wait until the badges got better. The badges got better. I got an Xbox 360. Guess what I got? No red eye. I got the CDI of death. I was like, what is that?
What?
And so, long story short, I would like to be
Damn.
skeptical, but I'm like, my odds of something going wrong, even after I see the odds are going wrong, are still crazy. So I might take the chance of being alone for the next couple years, unless there's people up there that's gonna make me miserable. If that's gonna happen, screw that. I'll stay on Earth.
I I guess my thing is I'm thinking about the environment. Like, am I going to be able to survive in that? Just because they're saying you can survive and that they didn't fix it or worked it out to where you could doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Like, think about these medications that come out. Like, they had to have like test trials of stuff. Like, they can't just bring out a medicine like straight out of a lab and then put it on the market. You know what I
True.
mean? So
Hmm.
I feel like you'd be a guinea pig, like going up there. Like as soon as it became available, as soon as they said okay, basically they're saying, oh, basically we just need a few guinea pigs to go up there. They're not gonna say it like that to you, but that's what it is. You're basically gonna be a guinea pig. I guess that's what I
True.
wouldn't want. Like now, if it's been Nah, I think even if it's been a while, I still wouldn't go up there. I just that's another planet. That's another whole another planet right there. Now,
Okay.
nah, I couldn't do it. What's your
Uh,
answer?
yeah.
Um, wow. I like to think of myself as an explorer in a matter of speaking. I like adventure. I like new things. I
I
like
guess a
testing
rookie
limits.
traveler would.
Yeah, I would say no. Even though I'm gung ho about a lot of things, guys, but something like that is too far. I mean, there's space, there's radiation in space. Who was to say that I would get along with, who's already there, and just overall people in general. Just who know? I mean, as I said a little earlier, I mean, we have problems, here on Earth that we're all struggling, to deal with. Could be racism, it could just be, anything across the board. So, yeah, that would be an easy pass for me. The answer is no.
Yeah, because you think about
Um,
it, like you have to think about the actual environment too. Like, what's that going to do to your health and your body? You have
exactly,
to
long
think. I
term.
mean, so it's not the same. Like Mars is not Earth, so and
Yeah,
we didn't come
yeah, the
from
moon's
Mars,
not Earth.
so our
Yeah,
bodies aren't adjusted or adapted to Mars. So like you tell me I have to wear a suit, 24/7 or whatever, or I gotta. And if I, am I going to be like that on Total Recall where they came out of that help me out when it
Oh,
came
you're
out.
talking about decompression. I got you.
Yeah, and then like their eyes are coming out. I mean, come on now. So I don't want to have to worry about stuff. I want to be able to go outside and breathe the air. It may not be clean
yeah.
now, but I want to be able to go outside and breathe the air, see the sun. Have my whole body out there. I'm not trying to wear suits wherever I go, and I gotta be so careful because if I'm not, then then Total Recall
Yeah,
is gonna happen to me.
any type of leak, any type of depressurization. I mean, yeah, it's going to take all of us out. So yeah, I would agree. I agree with all of that.
I guess
Um,
I look at it from that sense. Like I mean, I know it's like a cool idea. Like, oh yeah, I'm about to go live on Mars, but there's just so much more that goes into it. Like it's not as simple as it seems. Okay, continue.
I agree. Okay, I want to switch gears. Um, let's say, guys, that you have a parent that's a pilot for an airline,
Hmm.
and you get to meet with this parent. Mom or dad, doesn't matter which one. That you get to meet with this parent on a weekly basis because your career keeps you busy, family keeps you busy. That parent being a pilot keeps them busy. So as I said, you get to meet, let's just say for lunch, once a week. And
Uh-huh.
then you end up seeing, because obviously, you're the child of a parent, you know what your mom or dad is like, the ins and outs in a matter of speaking. So anyway, upon one of the lunches, you notice that their hand is trembling and they try to hide it from you. And a few minutes later, when they get good, they go to pick up a glass of water to drink, hands trembling again. And so obviously you're going to question them about what's going on with you. So they end up telling you that they found out that they have Parkinson's disease.
Hmm.
And they're telling you that, it's not that bad. I'm seeing a doctor about it, but your concern is, my God, you are a pilot, and you have people's lives in your hands. And if you have a traumatic episode, you could kill everybody on board that airplane. So do you allow the parent to say that, or agree with the parent of saying that, well, maybe they'll be okay, maybe they can have it under control, but what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like it's under control. Would you end up telling the airlines about your parent having Parkinson's and they should be put in another position as a non-pilot, or would you not say anything at all?
Oh my
Mind you
god.
now, right? Mind you now, there's people's lives in the balance. If that parent has a traumatic episode while flying, what would you do?
Oh wow, that's a boy, a hard hitter over here.
You know how I do.
Yeah, I guess because I'm not really big on. I hate to sound cliche because I'm not one of these people that don't believe in snitching, but I don't know. It's just weird for me just to go to someone's job and say, "Hey, you need to let this person go because this is going on." But I mean, I get why that would be necessary. It's just hard because that's not in my character to do something like that. I think what would end up happening is I would end up having an argument with that parent, and I would just nag them until hopefully they would see sense and then um, retire. Or that'd be really hard for me. I'll be honest, that'd be really hard for me. Like, because I just couldn't see myself going. I know the right thing to do would be to go to the airline to tell them about my parent, but then I would feel like I'm going behind my parents' back, and I don't know. I just wouldn't feel right. I'd be stuck either way. I would feel bad either way.
Okay, now since it's my turn, and this is my favorite area of expertise, I'm not FAA fully certified, but I'm an aviational fanatic to the point I've already played worst case scenarios with FAA roles and stuff. So here
Okay,
we go. I'm gonna add a twist here because it gets interesting now that you mention this. There's two things I want to state before I go into this. Normally, when a plane is flown, it's never flown by just one pilot. It's usually created by two pilots because just
true,
in case a situation goes wrong. Now, with
true.
that being said, I have to now break it down. Now, if we're talking about the giant commercial ones like an A380, this the biggest
Yes,
airline in existence. That Joker
yes.
has a lot of fail-safe programs in it. So if your parent just so happens to either have a seizure or something, I'm just going to say outside of the scenario we're just talking about, the Parkinson, the plane will auto correct itself and also alert the airport. Hey, guess what? Our pilot's unconscious. Okay, it has the ability to somewhat, even with the co-pilot, to help land itself just about. Even if someone finds out and can get into the room to help land the plane. Now, when it gets to a smaller plane, it's a little bit more trickier. Usually, that
Mm-hmm.
is usually going to have a veteran pilot in there. They're going to be close to retirement with a new pilot getting trained. So the new pilot's going to be learning from the old pilot. So just in case something was to pop up with the old pilot, the new pilot will take over, make sure the plane lands every day, and it gets seen. Now, back to the Parkinson. I would feel concerned, but due to the fact I know all the knowledge that's in the aircraft that keep it from not nosediving into the runway, uh, I'm like, okay, if they're on a giant airline, yes, I'm concerned, but it's going to be obvious. Everyone else is going to pick up on it. I mean, the stewardess are going to pick up on it as well as the co-pilot, and if it's a bigger aircraft, the engineer that's in the back room with them will eventually see that, especially. But once the aircraft gets airborne, most of it is already computerized, so it is pretty much practically flown by computers bouncing off of radars. So it's like, okay, it's airborne. The only time the pilot really is involved is in the landing phase. So most planes they'll just fly themselves. So if they have a moment of full seizure and the co-pilot sees it, okay, disable his side. Okay, we're gonna land a plane. EMTs are gonna be there, and FA, and then we're gonna deal with him or her, whatever which way. Now, for me, I feel bad that him or her is going through this situation. I'm gonna let him know, hey, you need to start thinking about retirement. And I already know the people that work with you, they probably already see it, and they're probably not saying it because they already know they already put in their mental contingencies into plan because as a pilot, and this is from when I was listening and talking with actual pilots, if they're flying another pilot, you have to have your contingency while he or she has their contingency. So if you lose consciousness, they know what to do. And if they lose consciousness, they know what to do. So I'm like, okay, so there's redundancy upon redundancy. Now, would I alert the employers? The employers probably might already know. And if they don't know, they're probably gonna know very soon. So I mean, I could tell, but is this basically I'm like, oh, okay, we got you, we know.
So you wouldn't tell.
I would tell them, but it wouldn't matter really because they'd be like, we already know about it. So
So
thank
you
you,
would
but
tell.
yeah, I mean, if I want to, it's just gonna be like, okay, we're watching them. We already are watching them. We're tracking them all. I'm like, okay, because you got to get tested every so often, and you have to pass the test. And you don't pass this test, you are out. And I think it's like every 3 or 4 years you have to get tested.
So
It'd be, hmm,
what if both of them had Parkinson's?
oh dear God. Then I can't really confirm because I didn't see the other person had Parkinson.
What if
So
you? Okay, what if you known that the other co-pilot had Parkinson's as well, along
mm,
with your parent? Then what? Then what would you say to that?
I would alert because usually they were always they're it's crazy. You're about to get me started on the whole mental gymnastic of how aviation works. Each pilot is usually tested different at different times throughout the year, so it's not they're like they're all tested at the same time. So with that being said, the co-pilot probably is going to get tested maybe 2 years before the other pilot get tested. So that's another day that kick off, and then also they go to rotation. So it's like today that pilot might be here under Parkinson. Then I found out he or she is transferred to another plane before that day is over with, and a new person comes in there like, holy crap, you got Parkinson. I'm gonna let our boss know. Okay. So either which way, I could tell or not tell, it's gonna come out. Because I hate saying this, but FAA is a hyper after September 11th, the FAA is extremely paranoid when it comes to aviation. I'll just say that.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Um, I think of crazy scenarios and situations, true life stuff, like what happened to inmate that flight, inmate 70 just disappeared. They
Oh
don't
yeah.
truly know what happened to everyone. And as crazy as it may sound, if it were a situation to where the co-pilot got locked out of the cabin, couldn't get in for whatever the reason may have been per this scenario, the pilot with Parkinson's disease, was in there by herself, has an episode, and now there's a chance that the plane could crash. Um, I think I'm going to tell. Okay, but let me add on something really quickly to both of you. Okay, let's just say that everything I just said, you found out that your parent has Parkinson's and you're concerned about it, because again, he's a pilot. So would you anonymously tell the airlines? One, and then two, if your mom or dad found out that someone told, and they asked you, was it you? Would you tell them the truth and say, yeah, it was me? And I did it out of love and concern. What would you guys
Oh,
do?
I think I probably wouldn't even do it at all because I just wouldn't feel right. I don't know, like it's just I have a
Even
strong sense of loyalty towards my own. I just do. I
yeah,
know it's
even
wrong.
though I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying I know it's wrong, but I just do. I know I just it'd be hard for me. Like I have to be
Even though
honest.
every
Go ahead, go ahead.
even though everything he just said is on the up and up, because I'm not calling you a nerd. Don't get me wrong, no man. I'm not saying that at all. But in
Uh-huh.
my own nerdy Puerto Rican black way, man, I look at a lot of stuff that has to do with aviation, pilots, the size of planes, engines, and just stuff overall. But um, yeah, I would just be concerned about, as I said, it would be some type of situation, maybe, or an episode to where lives could be put in danger. So if I got asked, you said you had concerns, and did you tell the airlines that I had Parkinson's, even though you tried to do it on the down low? Not only am I
Uh-huh.
telling, but yeah, I would just end up confessing and say, yeah, I did tell the airlines. Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, I might
I can
end up
see,
becoming a black sheep
I
for a
can
while,
see,
but
I
at
can
least
see
other
you
people will be
doing
all right.
that. Yeah, I can see you doing that though. No, no shade, nothing like that. I mean, I can see you doing that. Like you seem like a very up and up. I mean, like I
Yeah.
Yeah,
said,
maybe I said that.
that would be the right to me. I feel like that would be the right thing to do. It just be something I don't think I could do.
It's
I
not an
mean, I get
easy
the
thing to
loyalty
do.
thing. Yeah, I was saying
Well,
I
with
get the
that, well,
loyalty thing, absolutely, but we're talking about people's lives. And as
well,
I
that
said,
brings up.
I'm, with
Go
all
ahead, go ahead.
with all the factors, what he just said, with all the factors involved, especially with these newer jetliners, I mean, the odds probably slim to none that something like that would happen, even if it was just one pilot for some reason. But after MH70, that just had me thinking, damn, man, if one guy could do this and kill all those people, including himself, I mean, you just never know.
Hey,
That
can you
is true.
explain? Can you explain to me what happened?
Well, he could probably maybe do it a little better than I, or he could help me with this. But from what the facts supposedly state, is that one single pilot did a number of things, turned off the tracking devices,
Yep, that's one
flew
of
in a
them that needs
total,
to be done.
flew off in a total different direction of where he was supposed to go. From what I understand, that if you have an international flight, it's supposed to skim over some parts of land in case you have
Yep.
some type of malfunction,
Yep.
or technical difficulty. But this
Yep.
guy, crazy work, flew. in a total different direction where there were no land. As he just said, agree with me, he turned off the transponder. There was no way to track the plane. And supposedly, I don't know how they know this, but he did things to the effect of he made everybody, including the co-pilot, the stewardesses, and the passengers incapacitated, and the plane just flew into the went out of fuel and crashed, burned out of fuel and crashed.
That was finally from the black box recorder that's on board the plane because if it crashed, then they found the plane, which means they found the black box. The black box is designed to survive impacts all the way up to, well, I
Mm-hmm.
hate to say it, to the fastest the
Mm-hmm.
plane is recorded to go. So if the plane can get past Mach Jesus and hit the ground, the black box should survive. And when you recover the black
Right.
box, it records all the recording inside the aircraft. So, i.e., mostly the cockpit and a little bit of the cabin, but majority of the time it's focused on the cockpit. So it's paying attention to which direction the plane is pointing, how fast the plane is
Mm-hmm.
going, the fuel consumption, its altitude,
Mm-hmm.
and then also it's recording whatever the people are saying inside the cockpit. So it's doing that part. So when you turn on the transponder, usually if you're in American aerospace and you were to do something that stupid, be prepared to be greeted by an F-15 and an F-16 fighting F-15 Eagle or F-16 fighting Falcon approaching you armed to the teeth,
Mm-hmm.
wondering what are you
Mm-hmm.
doing. Now, and in other
Exactly.
countries, it's supposed to be the same protocol. You're going to be greeted by their nation's fighter jets, and they're going to be signaling to you, "What are you doing? Go back to
Mm-hmm.
you need to divert to an airfield now and land. If not, we're going to consider you a threat. And unfortunately, since you're a threat, whoever on board is going to have to lose their lives because we're going to shoot you out the sky." That is usually the
Right.
standard procedure. But on
Mm-hmm.
rare occasions, if things are oddly weird or chaotic, and this is outside of America because I don't know everything. I just know only after September 11th rules if you were to do stupid stunts with a plane, these are the things that are going to happen to you. But
Right.
outside of the country, if you were to turn a transponder on, the first thing that's supposed to happen is a big panic supposed to kick off. Everyone needs to try to find out where is this plane, where is it going? Because if you don't know where it's going, it could collide into another aircraft. The other aircrafts don't know about it, and that's why whenever these transponders get turned off, they start calling to that person, that plane on the radio, saying, "Where are you? We don't see your transponder. Can you please
Mm-hmm.
repeat?" And then if they don't get that, they start attempting to get ready to get fire pilots scramble at some air bases, especially like I said after September 11th. And more since these weird incidents happen where people may go rogue with planes, usually the Air Force or Navy is called to that nation to scramble someone. And usually, in most Air Force bases or naval bases, they usually have either two or three aircrafts on standby. It's not every field, but every so often there's a field where they rotate pilots. They're on a 24-hour alert until it's their shift is over with to switch over. Now, are they sending the aircrafts? No. Most of the time, they have their flight gear on. The aircraft is swaying to get turned on if an emergency happens. Emergency happens, they run out there quickly. They hop in the aircraft. The aircraft's already started up. They're rolling down the runway. They're off. They're going full afterburn. They're going to be looking for you and considering you at the moment an unknown hostile. So when they find you, that's when they go from an unknown hostile to a bogey. Then they go to the confirmation to see what's going on. And in fact, there's been a few private jet, well, actually, the last private jet incident happened. There was a fighter pilot that got to the plane. When they got to the plane, they realized there was no one of consciousness there. They tried to figure out how they could get in touch with the people, but they couldn't. So what they did was they tracked the plane, and what they did is they made a prediction since they assumed that everyone probably died because of lack of oxygen that's not in the room, so their brain ceased functioning. So what they did was start making preparations. Where is this plane about to crash? So when they figured out where it was going to crash, they started alerting people in the area, in the vicinity where this plane was going to crash at. Hey, we need you to probably get your stuff and get out and go in this direction. So as they were tracking it, they started narrowing down where it was going to crash. And when they did, they alerted everyone in that Pacific area, please evacuate the area. And then the plane went down and smacked the ground. Now, that's the rule that's supposed to be the rule of engagement of planes going rogue if the people go unconscious. Now, if they get to the plane and the plane is conscious crew, the first thing you try to do is get them to realize, one, we need to know what you're doing. Two, why is your responder off? So the control tower is trying to get you to turn the responder on. The fire pilots are trying to get you to realize you're deviating to a point that things are uncomfortable. But usually, most times in most other countries, the only time they're usually scrambled is if you're deviating an area that is what's the word called, asset protected. If it's asset protected, you will be greeted very quickly, and they're going to want to know immediately why you're there.
It's
And
being
if you
told.
don't give
Yep.
them the answer very quickly, don't worry, you won't be flying for very long.
Did you used to be a pilot?
No, I just spend a lot of time with aviators, and I talk with a lot of aviators and watch a lot of aviator stuff. So I ask questions about it, and then I
Hmm.
get the bigger
Hmm.
answer to it. So it's like, okay, this is the reason why I can't 100% just say, oh, I can run and tell them because, like I said, these people they thinking, okay, think about the plane. The aircraft runs what an average. Let's go with an Airbus. That's about what $200 million aircraft, and then you think
Hmm.
about every passenger on board there. That's about two, three, four, $500 per person. And then you got first class paying up to like $2,000 or $3,000. So that's almost what you got, $1 million car aircraft, probably almost $1 billion of people on there. So if that plane was to go down, that's over close to $2 or $3 billion you're gonna lose. I don't think I want to take that financial loss. I'm gonna be paranoid over everybody. I want to make sure. That's why people, okay, when you board an aircraft, everyone wants to check to make sure the pilot's good. That's why the storage is always make sure the pilots are good. Are you comfortable? Are you functioning right? Are you in your cognitive thought? Do you have smell of alcohol on you? Do you smell like weed or anything like that? If you smell like any of that, they're gonna be like, no, honey, yeah, or whatever they say. We want you to stand down. If you don't, that's when port airport authorities and other authority figures will come in there to escort the pilot out of the aircraft or force the pilot out of the aircraft. Ugh.
I don't know if this has been. I don't know if you or Traveler had already um said this, but so like when the plane crashed, where did it crash
Hmm.
at?
Uh, he may be able to answer this better than I, but from what I've been keeping track of on this from time to time, when something comes up about it, they're saying that they found pieces of the plane, and but I'm not sure. I'll just leave it at
Sounds
that.
like
I'm just
water.
not sure.
When you say
You
What's
pieces of
said
that?
the plane,
water?
I said yeah, water. It sounds like a crash in water. The only time they would
Yeah,
find
yeah,
pieces of the
exactly.
plane, so it's
Yeah,
crashed in the
suppose.
water.
Yeah, that's what they're supposedly saying. Supposedly there are pieces of the wing, pieces of the tail that have washed up ashore. You know, I
Yep.
mean, one of those, one of the some countries, some different countries, and supposedly there's been confirmation from Malaysia Airlines that yeah, this is it. We could tell by the structure of the wings, of what they found of this certain part of the tail wing, that it's legit. That
Uh,
did come from the jet that turned up missing.
okay.
So that's how supposedly crazy work that there's supposed to be confirmation of that. But yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours, man.
No problem. Since you mentioned it, here's the reason why I kind of had a hard time remembering it. Brace yourself. Okay, now back to the question about a person. I don't. Okay, when it comes to the pilot, I'm less scared of the pilot. I'm more scared of the people they hire for mechanics and inspectors of aircrafts. Here's the
Yes,
reason why. If you get shoddy inspectors, I don't care if you have a pilot who's flown a high combat jet. If that thing starts breaking down on them when they get airborne, their goal is they're going to first try to fight to get it airborne if they're trying to get airborne. If they can't get airborne, they're going to try to see if they can land it softly. And unfortunately, I unfortunately know a few cases where people who are maintenance crew were shoddy, and these are the people I'm more concerned about than the pilot because one aircraft in India, the maintenance crew sucked so bad that they forced the airline company to go out of business because they wouldn't hire competent maintenance people to keep their stuff up to date. And since they weren't
that's
keeping the
crazy.
aircrafts up to date, they inadvertently had like two or three Indian aircrafts crash. So, with that being said, I'm always questioning the person who owns the business, and then I'm questioning the work ethics of the crew that's keeping the aircraft working. And then somewhere at the very bottom of the tree, then I think of the pilot because I'm thinking of the maintenance, the inspectors that are in the area. They have to be of top quality or good quality. So at least I'm boarding a plane that the pilot, if something goes wrong, if the pilot is drunk, oh, okay. We'll go with what's that one movie with Denzel Washington where he was an
Flight,
alcoholic? Yeah, Flight.
flight.
And you seen what he did while he was drunk? He took the aircraft. even though he was drunk, and he still somehow safely landed the aircraft. That's because the aircraft had good maintenance crew on it. The inspections were up to date. So when something went wrong, okay, we'll do something weird and stupid because the aircraft can handle it. But if you have a crappy maintenance person, crappy inspector, yeah, try that stunt. That plane would have snapped probably in two, and everyone been scattered across the field.
Truth be
I
told.
and so that's why I'm like pilots. I'm not so. It's like okay, here we go. Everyone inside the aircraft we see that boards the aircraft that's supposed to operate the aircraft, I call them theater show. The people that you really need to give a crap about are the ones we don't really see. The ones who keep the engines up to date, keep the flight surfaces working, make sure we have the right amount of fuel in there, make sure the aircraft is balanced just right before it gets ready to take off because they got to make sure all tanks are balanced right. Because if one tank is off balance, the pilot is really going to be fighting to try to keep the aircraft balanced in flight. Because here's another fun fact: your fuel in an aircraft is actually in the wings. So as if
Hmm.
one wing loses more fuel, that wing gets lighter and the other wing gets heavier and starts taking on drag, so it starts turning in the direction of the heavier wing. So then you have to have the fuel flow balance. If you don't have the fuel flow balance, you're going to be flying a plane going lopsided very quickly. And the maintenance crew didn't do, the fueling crew didn't do what they were supposed to do right, the pilot's going to be flying a plane that's trying to turn sideways and probably going to make it put into a spin dive. So I'm concerned about the fueling team. I'm concerned about the maintenance team, and I'm concerned about the inspector. I'm concerned about all of them jokers being up to spec. If they're up to spec like they're supposed to, I will board the plane happily.
Okay.
It can be kind of banged up, but their people are good quality. That plane will
So what
take.
if your parent with Parkinson's was one of them, one of the
Then
maintenance
I'd be
crew?
very concerned. I'd be
You
very
would say
concerned.
something?
Yes, because now they're not just dealing with one plane; they're dealing with multiple planes. But the good
Hmm.
news is there's usually a squad working amongst each other, so they'll see and they'll be like, okay, you're screwing them a little bit. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna spot check behind you to make sure you don't make this plane crash. That's one of the good things about most of these big line airline businesses. They hire more than one maintenance person and they all watch each other, forgive my French, ass to make sure they're not gonna be on the 6 o'clock or 12 o'clock news because one of their freaking planes crashed.
Dang, well, I tell you, they need to do that at all these jobs, you ask me. But
Shoot.
so this question has nothing to do with planes. Um, I feel weird asking this because now it's like has nothing to do with what you were just talking about.
That's all
So,
good.
um, dang. So, would you rather have a partner, and you have to have one or the other. Can't be both. You have to choose one. Would you rather have a partner that's good in bed or they're a good cook?
I will go
Oh
with
man.
cook. I'm going with cook because we can make magic work regardless in the bed.
Okay. Or traveler, what did you say?
Oh man. Well, with my culinary background, I definitely want you to be a superstar in the bed. Um, got to
Okay.
keep it clean. I know I got to keep it clean, guys, with respect. But yeah, I know I'll just get the clean version and say that I would rather her be good in bed. I can handle
Yeah.
all the cooking.
Okay, so your bed and No Man X, you are cooking.
Yes, because I can work magic in the bed. Trust me. I'm just all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Oh. I think I would choose the bed.
Yeah.
I'll
So
be
you
like,
say you got the
I'm gonna
kitchen
be like,
down, right? You got that. You can hold the kitchen down.
oh shoot, hold up, dang.
Uh
I don't know
oh.
about all that, but I mean, but I think if we're looking at a partner wise, that's what I prefer.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, I want to turn the page on something kind of crazy, but it can't happen in true life, guys. You're on the highway driving, minding your own. There's a Brinks truck in front of you, and
Uh
as I
oh.
said, it's been known to happen. The doors fly open, cash and bags start to fly out. Do you pull over and pick up cash and then haul it back home, or do you just say, "Look at this," and just keep going down the road?
Due to the fact I've actually seen the whole news report for this stuff and how they do the procedure, and since they ID the money that's literally on the truck before it's loaded, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna keep
Mm-hmm.
driving because I don't want to take the risk of going to jail that easily.
Me too. Like I didn't
Okay.
know nothing about the my do ID and the money, but I just figured like I just figured there'd be like some kind of way that I would get seen. Like I feel like there might be some cameras on the truck. I don't know. I just feel like there'd be some kind of footage or some kind of way that I would get seen. And next thing you know, I got people coming after me or my pictures posted up or I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't be able to get away with it. So I would have to drive by it. What would you do, traveler? I think I already have an idea, but what would you do?
Yeah, I'm picking up that money again. Catch me
Catch
if you
me if you
can.
can.
I mean, what
Dang.
he said makes a lot of sense because yeah, they do track it. They got serial numbers, but I know there are ways to be able to go like to a mom and pop store with $100 bill. I'm not saying I did this. Not confessing to
Dang.
anything. It's something counterfeit, but to go into a mom and pop store, buy something you don't even need, like a 2 liter, and be able to get change back, man, and just keep doing that across the country.
Then
I
that's
say
another
mom and pop
tactic.
stores because there's no
Oh,
cameras. Because there's no cameras. Usually those kind of stores don't have any cameras or anything like that to where they can you could be identified easily. I'll just say
okay.
that easily. But yeah,
Tips
I'm
on
picking
not
up
to
the
break
money.
the law. Okay, gotcha.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
But it's a
so
good
that's
tactic.
my take. That's my take on that. Let's see, guys. Let's see.
But while you're thinking, I got
What do
one.
you Okay, go
Um,
ahead. Hmm.
so I didn't ask it like this before. It's along the same lines of one of my previous questions, not from this video, but from other videos. Um, so I already asked about the sibling of a sibling, but I didn't ask this. So, how would you feel if your son or daughter was dating someone, right? And things were going really well for them. They were really happy. They were talking about marriage, like tens across the board as far as a relationship. So you meet the parent or the mother of, let's just say it's your son. Let's just say it's your son. He gets with this woman. Everything's great. He's happy. Um, you learn that his woman's mother is someone that you used to date. Would you do you think you would have a problem with the relationship?
I think if I can ask, would she have a problem with the relationship?
I agree. Because it's not like I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to see her all the time. The only time I'll ever see her is, let's see, when they if they decide to get married and if they have kids, there's a chance we got events for our grandchild. So yeah, that's the only times I really be dealing with her.
So,
Hmm.
but would you have a problem though?
No.
You
I
wouldn't have a problem. But Traveler, would you
Nah,
have?
me. No, I wouldn't have a problem. As I said, I would be more concerned about how she, would feel about things. Would she be okay with it? But me,
Okay.
no.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
because I
change
mean
it
in general, if
up
she's
a bit then. We're gonna change it up. We gotta
okay.
put some Traveler and I'm kidding, ain't gonna be as grandiose as his, but let's say this was someone that you really felt some type of way about back in the day. Let's say this was that ex that you wish didn't get away. Or that you didn't, or that you let, like you're like, boy, I wish I didn't let them get away. Or something like that.
Okay.
What if they were like the love of your life? That type of
Please,
ex.
I still be able to work with that. I'm like, oh okay. Now I'm gonna put a twist on there and make it real interesting. Okay, let's say it's someone you had a liking to or you were in love with, but they didn't love you back, and then you got into a lot of trouble with them, but then you left them alone for some years, and then you come to find out that your child is in love with their child and they're about to start a relationship. Now, for me, I don't care because I won't be dealing with her. But now my problem is, hmm, how would I deal with if she tries to? That makes the situation more wilder. Hmm.
I'm confused. What do you say? When you say did stuff, you talking about like committing crimes?
No, like okay, let's say you're around the person and they accuse you of stuff like saying you did this and that when you really were just saying you were in the area just mind your own freaking business. Because you're in the area and since that person knew you like them, they would try to make drama so you'd be accused of stuff. So you leave them alone and then you come to find out your child is in love with their child and now you find out that you're gonna have to deal with that person. How would y'all react? There we go. That's
I
what I
would
put it in.
I wouldn't like it. I would not. I wouldn't try to break them up or anything, but I would not
Uh-huh.
like the situation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that'd be a little difficult for me as well. Yeah, that's a lot of flags going up, and
Yep.
yeah, trouble on the horizon.
But
Exactly.
what
That's the
but
only
what
way to make it real interesting right there was that that was the only way. Yeah.
but Trevor, but what if you were in, because I know no man said if he was in love with the person it wouldn't matter, but if you were like really in love with this person, okay, maybe not was. What if you kind of still still kind of had that love for them? Then what?
It would still be difficult. I mean, it's just, mm, my answer would still be the same. It just future problems. Who knows what can happen? Um, I don't know. That's kind of what my answer would be. I don't know. Probably not.
But
Well,
But
would you try to break up the relationship or no?
I would give the best advice that I could possibly give, and hopefully make that they would come up with their own decision without me trying to be a heavy influence. As far as like you
bullseye.
need to do this or else. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because I agree with you on that one. Because here we go. See, back to my original statement. I'm looking at it this way. If I wanted to see her like okay for the wedding, then I see her because of the childbirth or my grand. Well, I make it weird because when I say "our," because technically, even though she and me did not have the kid together, that got married to. Let me just leave the domestic alone. Let's get to the point. The
I
grandchild,
know what you're trying to say. It's not a grandchild that you both that came from both.
yeah,
I mean, it came from both of y'all, but it didn't come directly from both of
yeah.
y'all. It didn't come from the
So
same child, so I get it.
exactly. And since y'all, we both have now a grandchild amongst us, okay, I'm just going to just keep it cordial. She keeps it cordial best, I hope. And now if she starts reciprocating those feelings from the past back and she's single and I'm single, that's a whole different story.
Okay, so let's get into that. So what if would you think that be okay to get back together
mm,
Hmm.
if your kids got married, everybody came to the wedding, everybody's happy go lucky, both the families coming together, and so and let's say that things are like you said going really well between you two, like it's not there's no bad blood, none of that.
Well, I
So
was sitting my child down. And I hope she sits her child down. And we both explain how we once knew each other and we once dated each other, and the flame is coming back. That's all I'm gonna say. That's that.
yeah,
I would hope for the
I would have
kids'
to agree
sake.
with that.
Yeah, I
so
hope.
how would you feel if you were the child? Would you be okay with one of your parents dating one of your woman's parents?
I wouldn't care.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes to back what I was saying that I would just try to give the best advice I could, and let them make their own decisions.
Exactly.
Um,
Okay. So what if you had a son
Uh huh.
and he brought home a woman and it was someone you used to date? Then what?
Well, now that's crazy right there. I don't even know where to start. I just sit there calm and like, okay, so you're into younger guys now. Well, not him, but you know who I'm saying that to. Oh, 'cause, oh boy, that's that. Oh, mm.
wow,
Yeah.
that would be awkward as hell. I mean, truth be
Agreed.
told, wow.
That's gonna take at least about a month or so of me trying to cope with the logic of that, and then maybe another year just to actually be like not smiling with a smart aleck look on my face because I got smart comments now I can say to her. Ugh. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's basically what my whole problem would be for the next year or two. And then after I say the second year, if it looks like it's getting strong, I'm just going to be like the emoji shrug, like okay, huh, it's happening.
Yeah,
It's weird, but it's happening. Whatever. I can't stop it because my son's an adult. She's an adult. So
that part. Hmm. What about you, Crazy Work?
Oh
yeah.
no. Oh, there would definitely be a lot said. I'd be like, no. I would be completely against the relationship. I mean,
And
she
you will
might
make that
not
vocal.
might
You
she
will make
might
it
not
vocal.
heck yeah, I would. She might not
Okay.
agree with me, but it would definitely be vocal.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Um, someone, because you're speaking about love, you are so in love with this person. I mean, head over heels. Everything is going great. I mean, all the boxes are
Problem.
checked. They good
I'm
in
getting
bed,
going.
good in bed. I mean, they can cook. I mean, they're your equal in every aspect. They bring a lot to the table financially. They can match your work in every aspect. And then one day they end up being in an accident and they're no longer with us. And you know this to be certain. And then one day on a rainy night, you hear somebody at the door, you open it up, and it's that person that's supposed to be gone. What would you do?
But how much time has passed?
Like the next day.
What the next day?
Damn
Yeah,
Oh,
much.
but you already know this person has been confirmed to be unalived. You have definite
I would be so
confirmation.
excited and happy
Yeah, I'd go with that too. Because I'd be like,
because
you're alive. I have
because
like mixed emotions.
that happened with
Yeah, yeah,
a
me
friend
too.
that just remember the friend that passed. In my mind, in my mind, because I'm not used to dealing with that. I was thinking to myself, I said, "Man, please tell." I was hoping somebody's gonna call me, or hoping he would call and be like, "Man, nothing really happened. I'm okay." I was really hoping that it
Mhm.
was just a false alarm, and it took
Yeah,
me. I didn't believe it right away. So, so if that happened like that, I would just be so relieved and so happy. I think at first I'd be really stressed out, hurt and stressed out, and I could feel it in my body. But then if I seen him, I would feel much better, but I would still be in physical pain because I'm sitting here thinking this person's gone. So, but I would be really happy.
Agreed. Like I said, mixed emotions. I'd be sad, happy, and now if it was a prank, I'd be mad. But because some people can do crap like that. I don't know why. But in general, if it was just something that happened and I found out later on they're alive, I'd just be happy that they're still alive and breathing. Now, let's say it was 10 or 20 years and they come back. Now what
Oh,
y'all
then
gotta
I'm
say?
mad. Oh, I'm mad because I'm like, what happened? Oh, I'm gonna be mad. You're gonna have to
I
give me
would
an
be.
explanation.
Yeah, I would be confused. I would be torn. I would be thinking crazy along the lines of some pet cemetery type of stuff didn't happen. You know, as your family know Indians, you know what I mean? Native Americans, you know,
Uh-huh.
man, that took the body to a graveyard and buried it and performed some type of ritual and brought you back to life.
Yeah.
Sounds crazy, but yeah, that's what will be going through my mind. Like I saw your body tore up. There was no way that you faked this. And yet here
Yes.
you are again, and you seem to be normal. Nothing's wrong. Like what happened to you? How'd you come back? How'd you actually die? Are you real? Oh man, I don't know how I would feel about that,
And
guys.
I'll be thinking that, oh, so you faked your death so you can go live another life. Is that it? You got another family
That
out there?
see, that's
But
what
my
I've been
point
thinking
being,
too. Like you faked your death.
okay, but my point being, guys, is that you were brought down to the morgue and you actually saw the body, and there was
Yeah.
no way from the way the damage was to the body that person could be alive. There's just no way. There was
They
that much done.
some kind of way, because if they come back alive, obviously they had found a way to trick us, to trick me. If they came
Yeah.
back alive, you know what I mean? Because that can't happen. Like someone can't be dead no more, like completely dead, and all of a sudden they're gonna come back to life. Like I don't believe in,
That's
you know what I mean?
right.
Like all these
That's
movies we look at, I don't believe in all that stuff can actually happen. But so I would feel like they would. that means someone done tricked me along the way. So
Exactly.
that goes back to my first to what I said originally. That's why I'll be mad because to me, you come back 10, 20 years later, that's saying that means you like faked your death pretty much because you wanted to go live
I
an
guess
alternative life.
Exactly.
I get that. I get that analogy. I guess for me, and I'm not talking about here where I live exactly. I'll leave it at that. But I do know of a lot of Native Americans and the stuff that I've heard, that they've talked about. And who's to say that per, let's just say, pet cemetery, that's
Mhm.
totally false? I would be thinking along those lines, guys. That wow, what happened that brought you back to life? I guess that would scare the bejesus out of me, and I would be thinking, for me anyway, not necessarily along the lines of you trick me. You had people help you trick me. I guess on the other side of that is how are you back? How is this even possible?
Exactly.
And probably be terrified. On top of that,
Wow.
you-
I guess
yeah,
I guess the way I look at it is I just don't I just believe in what is like what actually happens like real life.
yes,
Like if someone
right.
does that, if that happens, like I'm not gonna think something mysterious like some kind of what's how do I word this? Like some kind of something fantastical happen. Like I just don't believe in that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if it was a real life situation and I thought your ass was dead on the bed or whatever, and next thing I know you're here 10, 20 years later, yeah, something's fishy about that. I guess
Yeah,
yeah, something's fishy about that. But I guess what you're saying on your end, you wouldn't jump to get mad. You would want to understand what like how this come to be. So I get that. You want to understand
yeah,
how it got to that point, like how they got
I
how
see
they're
where you're
there.
yeah.
coming
How are
from.
you back? How are you
Yeah,
back?
I get
Like
that.
you say.
I get that. What about you, no
Um,
man?
Well, once you put it in the terms of like I'd say spiritual healers and those that they have the ability to somehow resurrect the person back from the dead, I'm just gonna
mm-hmm.
be sitting there like, okay, so now that is a real thing. Processing it.
Right. Let me
Processing
put a
Oh
it.
check
wait,
in that box.
I'm
Right.
gonna stop you both there right now. Come on, guys. Y'all believe people can actually resurrect the dead?
No, I'm saying I'm just telling you right now, if they came back from the dead and somehow, like you said, if they were mangled up and stuff, and it was confirmed, unless somehow they managed to make a good prosthetic body double, which really is made up,
Right. Right.
and that means they
Wait, wait,
really
wait,
put
wait.
a lot of money
Let me
out.
stop you right there. So you
What?
think making a fake prosthetic body is impossible, but you think resurrecting the dead is possible?
No, no, hold on. Here's the reason why I say
Oh
that.
gosh, guys.
Because no, let's say you did a prosthetic fake body. Okay, I actually watched a show called Mythbusters and I got bored. And I was like, how much does it cost to make a body replica of yourself?
What? Okay, go ahead.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that
If
was the
you're that
show.
determined to make a replica of your body, just go buy a car. Just buy a car. Okay, you're looking at
Yeah.
an average about $5,000-6,000 just to get it done, and you want it pure perfect to look like you, all the way down to the core structure. Oh, you're getting
But
close to
think
about
about it. But
10,000.
think about it like this, though. If you're trying to fake your death and go lead another life, wouldn't it be worth it? Like I'm saying, think about it. If you're think about
Well,
whatever's
you
going on in
straight?
your life.
Well, well, no,
If
okay,
you're
no, no,
gonna,
hold on. You brought it up. Here we go. You're gonna pay close to about almost $5,000 or $10,000 for a body fake double. That's gotta look like it has blood and everything oozing out of it, which is gonna be another couple $100 or more. Then you gotta pay a coroner office to actually be willing to perform this fakery. So you have to convince the medical coroner of wherever state or city you live in, which means you're probably going to bribe them with about another $10,000-$20,000 just for them to actually even do this. So that's about we're looking at around 30,000 all to do this. Then you got to be willing to have someone who's brave enough to want to sign a death certificate, because technically, legally speaking, signing a death certificate and it's being
That
false
part.
is imprisonment. So you got to pay another maybe 40, $50,000, maybe $60,000 to get someone brave enough to do that. So you're looking at almost close to about $80,000 to get this done. Um, so that's about $80,000 you sunk into faking your death. And then after that, you gotta be ready to go. That means you gotta have a go bag right then when you do this stunt. I mean, you don't stop, you don't think. You gotta have someone have a car on the side that's gonna rent a car, so that's about 50, 70, $80, maybe $100 we're looking at. Then you have to have a plane ticket immediately that's going somewhere. Then you gotta have another plane, be ready to pay for another plane ticket. So that means you're gonna have one that might be real that someone can trace you back to, which is gonna cost about $200. Then you're gonna get to another airport and randomly pick another airport plane to get on right then when you get at the airport to pay right there at that spot, which is going to be another $200. By the time you finish, you're looking at about around the ballpark about almost 100, close to
But think about it.
150,000.
But think about it. It's not easy to fake your death.
Exactly, because it's
Like, so
expensive
I'm
and you
just
gotta get
saying, so if
people.
you plan on doing that, then you are gonna have money. Not only that,
Exactly.
what if you get with someone to where that's not a problem? Some people, $100,000 ain't nothing. I mean, it's something to me, but what if your partner was someone that just made really good money and they could afford that, and
Man, if
they wanted to
they
live
get
another
that
life.
money, they can find a way to make me disappear. So yeah. On that note.
I'm just saying, you just never know. Like, they might just want some people out there to be wanting to lead, like, you got people out there lead double lives. They might be like, you know what, forget this. I don't want to lead a double life anymore. I just want to lead one life, but it ain't gonna be here with this person. I want to be with this person over here. And because to erase your previous life, I know it's not simple. It's not as simple as just boarding a plane and riding off into the or flying off into the sunset. I know it's not that simple, you know what I mean? But if
Mm,
you're serious about, like, uh, faking your death, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Then those factors are going to be there. Those factors are going to be into it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're serious about it.
true. And that's why I said it's money, dedication. But when people have that kind of money, they tend to make the other person disappear so they can live off the money that they got. Then what they would do is then they'll try to find a way to make themselves get to a place where people can't what is that word called? Expedite them. So if they were to be involved in something nefarious that caused the other person to disappear, yeah, they're probably in the Middle East somewhere enjoying the rest of their life with their money, and you can't do nothing.
Mm.
Hmm.
So do you guys know of a guy that you just cannot stand in real life?
Uh-huh.
Do I know somebody?
A male that you just cannot stand. If you see them, it's on site.
I have too much
Describe on site.
patience.
Okay, like you see them, you ready to throw down, possibly even take their life. If it got down to
No, my patient levels are too high. I deal with a lot. I dealt growing up. I dealt with a lot of people that most people would be like, "Dude, how?" And I'm like, I learned two things. If I let myself get involved emotionally with some people, that's what's going to make me get angry. But if I turn my emotions out with those people, I can bear with them a lot. So I have a hard time finding people I really would get in a fist fight with or want to do that kind of harm. I usually just turn my emotions off when they're around. And I'm just like, oh, okay, they're here. Anyways.
wow, I wish I could be
And
like that. What about you, Traveler? You know what I mean? People that like, hey, I see you, it's on.
Yeah. And it's fortunate that I don't get to see that person
Okay, so
from
I
like a
want
past discretion. So yeah, I do know somebody like that. Yeah.
I want you to keep this person in mind. What if your daughter brought him home?
Oh man, that is not going to end well.
that's gonna
And
test
what I mean,
my stress limits. I'm sorry.
yeah, because obviously I will have to make it known to her that why I don't, particularly like this person, what the background is on that, and if you continue to see this person, I'm always going to love you, support you, but can't come around with him, can't come around with that person any longer, and I can't be anywhere with you to where he's going to possibly be. That's how that's going to have to end with me talking to her.
But what about me, Dad? What about how I feel?
You're allowed to feel how you feel, but I've already told you about past transgressions and um, there's bad blood between us. I've given you full details of how and why. And if you continue to see that person, even though I'm totally against it, then God help us with our future relationship.
It should be about me and how I feel. You
Well,
should put that
your
aside.
feelings. Do it now.
You need to put those feelings aside for my sake.
Well, if she would be that hard headed, I'm not going to go into any details, about my situation, but um, if she knew what that was about, and if she did, and I gave her full details, and you still decided to see that guy, then as I said, I love you. I'm always going to love you, but there's no way, no how the three of us are ever going to be in a room together moving forward. Absolutely not.
I completely get that. 1,000%.
Me is a timer. It's a timer. I have to mentally put on me because at a certain timer reach, I've got to leave the room because my temperament with that person will start to come to life, and I'm refused. I am known for not ever letting my temper explode because I know how bad my temperament is. So I would have a timer, and I would let her know, sweetie, I love you. I will put a timer on this every time around this person. Now, if he decides to want, what is it called? Bury the hatchet between us, okay, we're gonna sit and hash it out. But then I might improve slowly. I'm not gonna improve instantly overnight. But if he
Hmm.
doesn't want to bury the hatchet over the situation, there's gonna always be a timer, especially when he's there. So it's like, okay, unless I'm talking to my daughter, okay, then the timer kind of slowly gets more extension. But if it's not me talking with her and I have to be in the vicinity, okay, I'm going to stay far out of his presence or stay out of range of him needing to talk to me at all while I'm there until it's, my time to get ready to hit on out. Now, let my daughter know I love her. Of course, I ain't going to show any towards that person. And if I have to, okay, it's really going to be one of the highest levels of fakery. There's only been a small number of people where I show a fakery amount of I care about them because they really are on my nerves. But it's not like absolute. I put in this. It's not absolute despisal. It's more like you're a human being. I acknowledge you as a human being. Out of that, don't push it. That's, that's the
Hmm.
kind of feeling.
Okay. So, so I look at a lot of period dramas and a lot of stuff that was prominent back in the day that's or but not now.
Hmm.
So like if you were do you think a person that's in an arranged marriage, a marriage that they had no choice to be in, do
Uh
you
huh.
think it would be okay for them to cheat?
Hmm. I kind of feel though, as marriage is marriage is marriage. Um, I guess depending on what your religious beliefs are, I don't really want to get into that wholeheartedly, but I think cheating is wrong across the board. I think cheating is wrong even if you're just boyfriend and girlfriend.
Oh, see, I can go with that logic, but then I think of another. This is where my mind gets twisted. This is due to the fact that I've been around too many crazy people in my life. So my logic has been destroyed a little bit and distorted. When I was much more younger, I would agree with you on that. But I'm like, if she's gonna do that, this isn't really a marriage anymore. It's turning into what's that one thing Will Smith and his wife is?
We talking
Open
about
Open
marriage.
relationship.
polyamorous? Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's basically what it turned into is an open relationship. So that means, in other words, it, it's no longer really a marriage or it's just something that make our parents happy. We're kind of doing our own thing. They don't need to complain, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. What they do, because honestly, I'm gonna be truthful with you. To me, marriage is just paperwork. If you really love someone, you don't really need to get married to them. If you're willing to be with them in the same vicinity and you're willing to share your life with them, to me, that is my concept of marriage. The whole wedding, getting the paperwork, legal documentations, whoop de freaking do. But if you just are able to vibe with the that person you're in love with, then be happy. That's my mantra I live by. If you're able to be
Well,
happy with that person, be happy with them.
I
But
mean,
if you're
let's
in that
say
kind of
you
forced marriage,
yeah, there you go.
it's not really your choice. It's you're being forced into it by your family. So basically, you did the paperwork for your family. They happy. You two acknowledge each other. Are supposed to be quote unquote. I'm doing with my hands married, but in reality, you're having another relationship that you're truly happy with someone else, and they're having a relationship with someone that truly else. So every time y'all have a family gathering, y'all just do the family gathering thing for a while. Whoa, yay! Then y'all go your separate ways. Mm,
No,
mm.
what if you're not allowed to go your separate ways? Like that was a thing, like especially with royalty and like higher ups. I'm talking about back in the day. I mean, I'm not talking
Oh,
about now.
what are you talking about? Hold, right there. Okay, you hit it. Higher ups, those who got money. Now you got money and stuff. I know. I used to know a small number of people who were in those circles, and they told me that it was not a joke about some of these rich jokers that they would have mistresses on their side, and the ladies would have their own, whatever the version of a mistress for a woman is.
A
Well, screw
mister.
it.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Let's
I'm
just go.
kidding.
We're just gonna go with
I'm
mistress
kidding.
for both sides.
Yeah.
So they stayed forced together, but in reality, they're still doing the show for the family, but they're living their real life when they're away from their family because they got money, so they can go to their tropical location wherever it is, and they can separate, be with their lovers and on different parts of their big mansion, and not really care about what the other one's doing because at the end of the day, they did what they needed to do to satisfy their parents, so they can keep their wealth and keep their privilege. But they have their people on the side. I hate to use for example, but what's his name? King, what is it? King George. Back in the day, he had a mistress while he was with Princess Diane. Uh, He was married to her, but he had a mistress. Now, am I supportive of
Said
it?
King
Not
George
really,
and
but they weren't
Diane.
really. Yeah, Princess Diane. Go look the history up.
You talking about
Yeah,
King Charles?
yeah, that's what I mean to
Yeah,
say. King
Charles. Yeah,
Charles.
Oh, that's what.
yeah.
Look, I got confused because there were.
That's what.
I thought you was talking about George, King George, the one that got what, or Prince George, the one that got a Wallace Simpson. That's what I thought you was talking about at first. But then you
Oh,
said Diane. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought her
uh,
man was Charles. But anyway,
yeah.
go ahead.
But yeah, basically, he had a mistress, and then later on, they decided to finally get a divorce. And now he's married to his
I know he's
mistress.
I know he's with her now.
Yeah, but back to the
Camilla
concept.
Balls. Right.
You say
Yes,
balls?
yes,
I
that's
thought
her
it was
name.
bulls.
I don't
Well,
know.
everybody's going to say her name different, so you got to work with it.
Yeah, we'll go with
Not trying
that.
to
We'll
say
just go.
not trying to say the ladies got balls, but
Oh
You never
gosh,
know.
balls.
no,
Harvey
yeah,
said.
no, nobody on this panel is saying that. Okay, anyway, continue.
Anyways, moving
Disclaimer.
on. I ain't saying nothing. But anyways, back to the point. When you got money, I gotta tell you, when you got money, it's like logic and rules no longer exist. So even though they're being forced, they got the power and the money. Doesn't mean nothing. It still means that they'll go to their little private island, be with the real person they want to be with. They live in different sides of the mansion, and when their family comes in, oh, they're just a friend of ours. They're just like hanging out with us, just lying to their family, dead in their face, and when they leave, go back to being with their lovers.
Now, I will say this. So, like, there are some cultures to where the woman didn't have that option, but like for instance, concubines, they were not allowed to do that. Uh,
Oh my god.
so, but I'm
Oh,
just
you be talking to me. You don't want to know the dark truth.
oh, I know the dark truth between all that stuff. I watch these things. I also
but
look up the history involved in the stuff too.
mm,
Like that's what I'm
they
saying.
still had
Like,
someone too,
oh
even
yeah, I
if they
know, but
were
that's
concubines.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm saying. Like there are cultures in this world to where, and even back then, to where you didn't have no choice in who you married. If they said you was with
Exactly.
this person, you was with this. You was with this person. So that's why the
In
question is,
public.
yeah, in public. But what the point is, the question is, do you think it's okay to cheat on them? I'm not saying what they do, but do you think it's okay? That's the question.
You got the
Nope.
money, you got the freedom technically. Hmm, why not?
So so you're saying yes, yes for you. So
Yes.
traveler, you're saying no, correct?
Yeah, only on the aspect. Maybe it's just me, guys, but on the aspect of cheating.
But think of it
See,
like
I
this,
get what.
traveler, because traveler, I know you, man. Listen, think of it like this: what if they paired you with somebody that you had zero attraction to,
exactly.
and you didn't have no choice but to be married to this person? You had no say
Exactly.
in it.
Boy, that's tough. Um,
See,
Think of
because
somebody. Think
I
of
get what
somebody that you
I
think of somebody you have zero attraction to, and
hmm
they said that this is going to be your wife from now on. You're telling me that you you know
maybe
you
maybe
okay.
I would enact what we were talking about a few moments ago about faking death. I mean,
You say I'll
oh
spend
man.
that $100,000.
oh Lord, I ain't saying
Yeah, I
nothing.
guess just me, guys. You know, obviously there's no wrong answer, but I'm just a firm believer, you know, in loyalty.
So
You
I
even if
know,
understand where
and
you're
maybe
coming from
you're
on
like
that.
Traveler, I don't believe you. That's why. That's why I can't accept it. I don't believe you. Traveler,
okay,
if
I'm
you
listening.
think, man, think about it. I want you to think about people that you know in your personal life that you have zero attraction to.
Hmm.
I can think of one. I ain't gonna mention their name, but I can think of one. So if you're telling me that if you were married to that person, and you know who I'm talking about, you're telling me that you will be faithful to that person.
I think I would try my very best to. And if it's going to be that bad, then like I said, I guess I'm going to have to come up with some money, maybe from a Brinks truck, dropping money on the highway and fake my death.
Ain't saying nothing. I'll take the money, the power, and just put on a show for my family or in public, but then just enjoy my real life in privacy. Because back in those days, a lot of people when they had that money and power, they did the show, the presentation, ooh ah. Then when they went home,
Hmm.
they were with the person they really wanted to be with. She went with the person she wanted to be with. I went with the person I want to be with.
So
Yeah.
if you were a sultan,
Uh huh.
and once again I told you I watch these palace dramas. Let's say the couple came to you, the woman wanted to divorce, but the man did not. Would you allow it?
You mean if I got legal power to accept or cause a decree
Yes,
for it to
because that's what
happen?
the sultans did.
Wow.
No.
I don't know if they still do, but I just know, according to this, what I'm looking at now, they did at this point in time that I'm looking at.
See, first I want to see how determined the husband is. If the husband is thinking about murder, ooh, yeah,
Well,
I'm
there's
not
no
sure.
murder involved. You just don't want to be with the person. Damn, you went all the way to the. Damn, okay.
Cause see, I watched a few true crime scenarios where it was dealing with sheiks in them, and when the woman didn't want to be with set person, yeah, someone
Yeah,
really
no,
got
they
to
always
that point.
they poisoned the men back in the day. I remember that.
Or stab or kill the woman. So,
Yeah,
long
but
story short, I'm looking first. Is there a chance that the homicide could happen? If so, I'm not going to do it. If there's no chance of a homicide not going to happen, okay, I'm going to let her get her wish. If not, I mean, as long as there's no chance of killing, sure, no problem. But
I'm
if that word
confused.
comes into play, no.
Whoa, 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 whoa! I'm confused. You as the sultan. I mean, you're the sultan. So what do you? So if the woman wants a divorce, but the man does not, you're
But he's threatened
saying
to kill her.
no. There's no threat. There's no threats involved. So
Okay.
there's no threats. You're saying that you would allow the divorce?
Yeah, because I'd rather have her not be a bitter woman married to a man who thinks that she's worth it, while he basically endures a living nightmare when he could probably find someone else that might be better for him.
But you're saying that if there's a threat that if he had if there's a threat that he might do something to her, you're saying that you wouldn't allow divorce.
Because of the risk of her being killed after I say she gets to the creek. Because it makes it pointless that I even said it because then he's going to go ahead and go on the next step that's going to force me to have to either punish him in some kind of way, either in jail or possibly beheading or losing hand or something like that. Because when you deal with these people, it usually is one of those three extremes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Travel. What about you?
Yeah, I believe I would go ahead and yeah, let that come to an end because of basically everything that both you guys are saying. So yeah, I mean. the possibility of her ending up dead or poisoned or just yeah. So I would agree. I would let the divorce happen.
Ain't that a shame? But that's how some people had to live back then, to where they didn't have a choice.
There was a
Yeah.
lot of things we didn't have a choice on back in the days that we actually got choices on. So I'm like,
Yeah,
we came a long ways from where we're going to were.
yeah, that's something. Like when I be looking at these shows, and you read up on the history to find out that people really did, live
Hmm.
like this. So it's like wow,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
because
Interesting.
so we're talking about one of my uncles who passed away about a year or so ago. He's part of the reason why I know so much. I've got a great knowledge about mankind history because he found out I loved aviation when I was a kid. And he was like, "You like aviation? Uh huh." He said, "Why don't we go learn about your people?" I'll get it. Yes, I am black. So I want to learn about people of my color. When I learned that, that's when I started learning about all the jacked up stuff in humanity history. And that's why I tell a lot of people I like history at the same time I hate history. And they're like, "Why you hate history?" Because I'm reminded of all the depressing crap we've done in the past. Hmm.
Hmm.
to me, I just think it's interesting. Like I don't like the depressing part, but I just think it's interesting when you learn about different cultures and how they did things. Like for instance, the nine, what is it called? The non-exterminations in China.
Oh, I
Like
think I
Hmm.
know what you're talking about.
yeah, to where like they don't just kill you, they kill your family. Sometimes they
Hmm.
kill your friends, like your neighbors, like whoever's close to you. If somebody
Hmm.
was if somebody was like a son to you, even though
Yeah.
they're not your real son, they would even take them out too. Like this, like that's what I'm not. This is not an attack on China. So this just an example. Just stuff I learned. Like and then like you learn about harems, how
Yeah.
harems work, the levels of concubines. Like it's not just a bunch of women. They're just in a room. You get to choose from them. Like they actually had levels of
Yep.
concubines and names that they had for them, and then like in China, uh, they had they were allowed to have multiple wives, not just the king, but the regular people were allowed to have multiple wives, depending on
Yep.
their status and in the culture. So I just thought like stuff like that was neat. And then like I'm looking at this Turkish drama, and like with them, their succession is different than like a place like China. Like for instance, when someone becomes a king over there, not now. I'm just talking about like in the Turkish drama that I'm looking at that's set in like what the 1500s. So not
Hmm.
now. This ain't no attack on any group of people, but I didn't know that when someone became a sultan, they would kill their brothers.
Hmm. That happens with
Hmm.
most of these families, and back then, even
Well, no,
present
no.
day
I, pu-
time.
I put it I put it this way: like it wasn't a sneaky thing. It was something that was expected.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't no like, oh, we're gonna go do some underhanded stuff. I'm gonna try to set them up and have their life taken. No, it wasn't nothing like that. It was a rule. I
Yeah.
forgot I forgot which sultan made that rule, but it was a rule, and I think I forgot. I don't know what sultan abolished it, but it eventually got abolished. But for some time, it was a practice to like when you become sultan, that you would take out your brothers. So I'm like, wow, but that wasn't a rule like in China or in England. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't do nothing to their brothers, but it wasn't the actual rule to go out there and take them out.
True. Because see, when you talk about like China or even Europe, what happened was the father, usually, oh, it's the father in this case, they make a decree on who's going to be the successor. Heck, even with the pharaohs, they made a decree: this son will be my successor out of all the other ones. The other ones will either become dukes, earls, pharaohs, priests, or something like that, depending on which nationality we're going with. And they go off to live their life the other ways, and sometimes they'll accept it, sometimes they'll just be envious, waiting for the one that's a successor to follow so they can be the next successor or some crap like that. So yeah, when it comes to royalty back in the day, you were better off being I mean, yeah, it was nice being royal, but in reality, you had a lot of people that want you to die so they could take your place.
Oh, I
So
would not, after what the stuff I seen, I would not want to be a royal. They went. People think they had such lavish lives, but it was treacherous.
Well, compared to a peasant,
I mean,
yeah,
well,
a little bit better.
I guess it's just you had people wanting to kill you. I mean, take you out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like people were just
Yeah,
actively. And then
unlike you.
when you
Right,
look at
unlike you. Yeah.
when you look at Chinese like concubines, like all the plotting and planning,
Hmm.
having your kids taken away from you, having them unalived. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it was a whole lot of politics involved. It wasn't as
Oh
simple
yeah.
as,
Yes.
oh, we're living a lavish life, we're happy, and then on top of that, you're being paired with a man that might not want nothing to do with you. Think about it. He has like
True.
30 plus concubines. You might not even be in his radar. And you're stuck
Exactly.
being in his
Yeah.
harem. And those women didn't have a choice to go step out with other men. They had no choice but to be with him and be available for him, even though he might not even wanted them.
Yeah.
At least as a peasant, you have a choice in who you're with. You don't have to sit there and stay with somebody, be a burden cage,
I
and
actually
then like,
studied peasants.
and then on top of that, you had to worry about the women bullying you, and if they were like a higher status than you, then it was allowed.
Yeah, I got you.
And did you know that they wanted your children because sometimes they might not have been able to have a child or they might not have been able to produce a son. If you had a son and you were a lower level concubine, they could take that
Mhm.
son from you.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I mean, look at what Henry VIII did with his wives.
True. But now,
You got
since you mentioned,
rumors causing you to get beheaded. Sorry,
oh
getting
yeah,
your head taken away. So I'm just saying, it's just like like I just wouldn't want to be a royal. Like I mean, I get the whole peasants they went through hell, a whole lot of hell, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to live back then. Period.
I
It's
agree
like
with you on that.
it's
So
bad
see,
on
I'm going
both
to talk
ends.
about. So okay, so here's the peasant. Here's the fact for peasants. I'm still trying to figure out the history for the Asian territories like India, Pakistan, Turkey, and all of them. But for European peasants, let's say you find someone and you fall in love with them. Well, you have to talk to the person who's in charge over the land, who rules over you, to get approval to actually be able to be wedded to that person. If he does not agree, you cannot get wed. So even though you're a peasant, yes, you can find someone, but if you want to do the be together thing, like acknowledge, you had to get it acknowledged by either what was it, a duke or somebody, whoever was control of the land that you were underneath. Because as a peasant, you didn't own the land. Someone above you owned the land and owned you for the rest of your life. And they were
Oh,
allowing you to decree to be married or wed to whoever. So if they
so
didn't
what?
agree to it, you wouldn't be married to them.
So what if the woman did not want to be married, but the man did? Would they still grant the man the marriage?
Actually, the person in charge over you doesn't care if you like or don't like. If they don't like y'all two together, y'all ain't getting
No,
together.
no. What I'm saying is, like, let's say the man
Uh
in
huh.
charge liked the man,
Uh huh.
and the man said, "Hey, I like this girl over here. I want to be married to her."
She
Did
really
did
don't have a choice because they
uh,
do. Now, here's the kicker:
you know,
if
arranged
she's
marriage?
no, hold on. Unless she's underneath another duke, and the both dukes don't agree, then of course she won't get married to him. But if she's underneath the same ownership of the same duke, she and him don't really have a choice. If he likes them to be married, they can be married.
Like, yeah, arranged marriage.
I call that forced marriage, not arranged, because it's like,
Yeah,
oh, you two are
arranged,
like be
forced.
together.
Either way, it's bad all the way. I guess another thing you don't have to worry about is like if you're a peasant, I don't think European peasants were able to have multiple wives, so you're not like in competition with other wives and their children.
If you had time to really be with your significant other, because most of the time you're busy foraging the fields, farming, or doing something that kept you busy from sun up to sundown.
If you want to
Because
even
wait. Since you got me started, here we go. The reason why we don't work the way we used to work in the early 1900s is because I think it's either the original owner of Ford or his grandson of Ford that owned Ford. They were thinking, how can we sell vehicles to the common people? He was like, well, I don't know. Someone came with that idea. Let's give them like some days off, like 2 days off out the week. Okay, let's give them. I guess we can call it weekends. So they gave people like us weekends off, and when they did that, it allowed us to have time to actually be by ourselves to gain and do what we normally do on our days off, recuperate, be who we want to be instead of having to wake up, go to work every
Oh
day throughout the
my
week.
gosh.
Yeah, that's how it was in the early 1900s. You worked
Oh, I believe
every
it.
day.
I believe it.
You may get a break if you're lucky, but majority of the time you worked every day until the day you retired.
Some places are
Then you
still like
retired and
that.
you die. Yeah,
Some
but it's
some
not as
places.
bad.
I put it this way: some countries are like that, to where they have to work every single day. Some of them have multiple jobs. I'm not gonna mention the names because I'm not trying to. You know, be like,
Oh,
oh,
I know what you're talking about.
she should have named several countries in this video. She must be, xenophobe or something. I don't know. So, but some countries, you like they still got that going on. They have to work
Yeah,
every day.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, question. So, like, if you had, if you, okay. So let's say you met this woman.
Hmm.
She was tens across the board. She checked your boxes. You checked hers. You guys were in love. You got married. Families got along. Everyone got along. Everybody was happy. It's like a fairy tale story, right?
Hmm.
Travel, you still with us?
Oh yeah, I'm here. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I said, damn. Okay. Oh, here I go.
No,
Anyway,
no, no. I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off just now, but yeah, I'm here. But I was trying to take in what you guys were talking about. Um, the history of what you were speaking on. I know a lot about a lot, but yeah, that's a little bit out of my realm. So, if you don't
okay.
know, you don't know.
Oh, I get that.
But go,
That's
yeah, but go
usually
ahead.
me.
Go ahead,
But
please.
so you're in love with this woman. She's in love with you. Everything's great. So, let's say she gets, um, gee, how do I say this with on here? Let's say she gets assaulted and she
Okay.
gets impregnated from this assault. Do you think? I mean, of course, no one knows what they're going to do if it actually happens. But the question is, what do you think you would do? Do you think you would try to stick it out and stay with her, or and help her raise the child,
Um,
or is this child gonna be a constant reminder of her getting assaulted? It's gonna bother you because it ain't yours.
um, except for the assault aspect of this, um, if this makes sense, again, outside of the assault, that's no different than helping to raise a child. If you meet a woman and she's pregnant and then has the child, or she just had a baby and you may choose to stick it out and help raise it. If she would be okay with that, I would support her, and
Oh,
I would be okay with it.
how
So
about
there
you
you
know
go.
that?
He said the key point. If she's willing to raise a child, I'll be right by her side, especially in this situation, because that takes a lot of what I call a lot of not consumption. There's a word I want to say to actually be willing to raise a child that came from a rape that she had no, option in that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's change it up a
Um.
bit since you guys, are so gung ho on it. What if it's from? What if the assault was from an enemy?
Hmm.
Um. I think I would
See,
still feel the same because
yeah, but go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I was about to be silly and say, hey, there's no telling what may end up happening to him. He could just disappear. I can blame it on aliens, but realistically speaking, I
Or
mean,
Pet Cemetery?
that, yeah, I mean, if she knew the background and the bad blood between us, and she was okay with it, I would try to be okay with it. I mean, because of what you just said a few moments ago, all the boxes were checked. She's a great person. I mean, she brings a lot to the table. She can match my work. I mean that's a lot because in today's world, at least in my experiences, y'all, it's almost like having to build a BIT and the other two letters.
Oh, I know.
You know,
It's
yeah, you have to pick. You know, a good aspect from all the girls you probably dated in the past and build a perfect woman. Now, this girl that you met, you know, is that perfect woman, you know, for us as guys or whatever, or for you as a perfect man. And that was the only downside. I think I would be okay with that. I think I could work through that. I think I would be
and
okay.
and since you said enemy, I already assumed whoever raped her was my enemy immediately. So it goes back to the
Right.
same concept. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm cool with the dude that raped you. That just
No,
sounds really,
no,
messed up.
I'm talking about
Uh,
like beforehand. I'm talking about he was an enemy before the assault. That's what I mean.
I know, but I'm just saying in
Not
general because
not the I mean, of course afterwards is gonna be your enemy, but I'm talking about beforehand, he was already like your enemy, you know. You already had this already felt some type of way about each other before it
yeah, he's
happened.
just gonna be even more my enemy afterwards. So
Yeah.
nothing changed really. It's like, oh, okay, you're still the jerk that I remember.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I will have to say though, unfortunately, that man, this was great, guys. It was good meeting you, you
No
know, on this
problem.
platform, Nomax. Yeah,
Thank you.
yes, yes, sir. Crazy work.
N-
We gotta do this again soon.
no
Cause
man
you
X.
know I don't wanna, huh?
Sorry.
You said what now?
It's no man X. I'm sorry.
Yeah, oh sorry for the mispronunciation, but yeah,
It's all
without,
good.
you know, yeah, putting out too much of my personal details, you know what kind of work I have to put in
Yes.
around this time of the evening. So yeah, I hope the three of us, you know, maybe with more, but if not, with the three of us, we could do this again soon. This was great. I'm
Well, I
looking
want
I
to
forward to
agree.
say
next time.
thank you both for being here. I really appreciate you both coming here
No
and
problem.
helping to support the channel. And hopefully, like Traveler said, we could all do this again.
I agree.
Absolutely.
All right. You
All
both
right. I
have
hope you
a good
guys have a
night.
good evening.
I
Thank
hope you
you.
do the same too.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Thanks.
All right, no
Bye.
problem. Bye bye.